here for the session. So I will start the session without wasting much of the time. So I'm sharing the slide. Just give me the confirmation if the slide is being shared.
Sure.
Can the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am, the slides are visible, ma'am. Thank you.
Is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am, the slides are visible, ma'am.
Thank you very much. So myself, Dr. Kirti Danglongani, professor from Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University, Pune. And today's topic is very interesting when we are looking towards the higher education scenario and teaching learning process. And the topic is master stroke personality development for teachers. When we are dealing with students, our personality also is important when we are in a teaching learning process with our students. What you mean by teacher's personality? Teaching and learning process can be influenced by teacher's personality. Very true. Because when just now I had told that when we are in the learning process, when we are in the teaching process, the students are looking towards faculty or teacher as a role model. So teacher's personality, his or her mentality, whether it's positive or negative, has an impact on the students positively or negatively. So if a teacher has positive traits in his personality as being a patient, cooperative, and authoritative, he will be a successful teacher and he could get his students satisfaction. And that's very important when we are dealing in a teaching learning process, and especially in higher education, as generation is changing. We are dealing with generation Z. So that's why it's very important to groom yourself with the generation which we are interacting and dealing with. In today's content and today's session, we are going to see the introduction, mainly the professional grooming as a very important component of professional behavior as a teacher. We are also going to discuss about I as a brand. When we are dealing with I as a brand in front of our students. Managing your visual image. That means when we enter a classroom, the student look towards us. So our dress code is important. We are going to talk about the formal dress code for men and women both. Basic grooming and hygiene. Workplace etiquettes when we are interacting with other colleagues and our students. Non-verbal communication when we are at our profession. Tips of personal grooming. Online presentation and classes, because now many of the classes happens online or we have guest sessions online, and during lockdown everyone has been online on Zoom, Google Meet, MS Teams, and many of the different platforms. And then international presence, behavior, and communication tags. International collaboration in academics are playing an important role. Even in national education policy, international collaborations plays a very important role. So presenting yourself at the international level as a teacher, as a coordinator, and facilitating between students and different international organizations, industries, or universities is one of the important parameters. So we are going to discuss about all over professional grooming and personal grooming of a teacher. Now, when we talk about personal grooming, what it means, we might have looked towards communication skills and personal grooming for students. So why not teachers? Because we have to be with our generation Z. So getting organized, solving problems, engaging and caring about students are one among the key life skills that teachers needs in the profession, because teachers' professional role can be affected by their personal life factors. So they need to develop certain life skills related to their personal life. So that's why grooming and personal hygiene is an important parameter for teachers too. So what here means personal grooming? So personal grooming has an essential in everyone's daily life, in each profession, even for teachers. So a well-groomed individual stands out amongst the crowd. And we teachers are the builders, or it plays a very important role in building nation, as more than 50% of our population belongs to youth generation, and we are grooming and shaping that youth generation. So well-groomed individual, that is the teacher who becomes a role model for the youth of the nation. So let's make a positive impact on social engagements, on professional engagements, and that's what we are going to deal today with personal grooming skills. So there are three important um, I had divided into three important parameters, and that are A, B, C. It's very easy to understand and it's very simple, and that's why I had just created A, B, C. A for appearance, B for behavior, and C for communication. So when we are building a successful professional relationship in corporate, in academics, in society, as a teacher, as a role model, very important factor is first our appearance, that is A. Second, that is B, which stands for our behavior when we are interacting with our students and our colleagues. And the third important is communication. When we communicate, might be in teaching in our classrooms or might be beyond the classrooms. So let's talk about the first A, that is appearance, dressing sense. Dressing sense and wardrobe management, a very important aspect. And we are going to deal about appropriate dress code, how to dress for success, success all over, as we also want to have success in our professional life. We are going to deal about fashion sense for ladies, evaluate how lifestyle can be changed, managed according to the profession, starting with that basic clothes. Yes, I'm not going to talk about a lot of fantasies when I'm going to deal with wardrobe management of that sense. I'm going to tell about the basic clothing etiquettes and clothing sense, and let's keep it very simple, because I think so simple makes it more gracious. So how to wear your, might be if you have a uniform in many of the, even higher education, they have a dress code, or might be any particular instructions are given when there is a relationship with the dress code. So let's talk about how to wear with grace, dignity, and success. Especially, I'm talking about power dressing, we call as in case of men's, and fashion sense in case of women's. Dress smartly. So let's talk about first women, how to dress. So with these all concepts, that appropriate dress code, fashion sense, and basic clothing, keep it simple, make your dressing sense more graceful with dignity and success. And I'm going to talk this with first dressing sense for women, and that is the faculties, ladies faculty. And let's talk about dress smartly. What do you mean by dress smartly? Smart and simple. Smart with basic clothing. So basic clothing, we are going to talk about both things. One, Western outfit, and the second one is Indian outfit. When we are talking about Western outfit, yes, what exactly it is? We are going to talk about the blouse, tops, the bottoms, that is skirts and pants, dress, Indian wears, accessories, which are important when we are carrying ourselves in the classroom or in our university. So that is, might be you're wearing shawls in case when you're at in the cold season or in the cold weather or in the northern part of the country, scarves, belts, your stockings, accessories, very basic accessories are required. You should not be very flashy, and fragrance. These all things are important when we are talking about the power dressing for women. So let's talk about with this particular picture. So I'm going to cover all about the tops, bottoms, dress code, cuts and styles, all about the Indian wear. Then we are going to talk about the all accessories also with this picture. You can see here the Western dress code and Indian dress code. So when we are talking about, and just I'm giving you 1 minute to observe it. Observe carefully the two ladies from top to bottom, their dress code, their dressing sense, they're they're carrying their dressing both in the Western as well as their Indian dress code. And you can see that when we are talking about dress, of course, if it is a Western, you can go with bottoms. You can go with the formal bottoms, and your top should be, or the shirt should be, a light color with a blazer or without blazer. It depends upon, uh, daily you might not wear blazer. Depends upon the season also. But when you're wearing blazer, uh, especially the dark color blazers, if you're wearing the light color shirt and vice versa, and you're wearing uh, dark color shirts, you can go with the light color too. Close buttons, uh, knee length skirts, of course. And if you are not with the comfortable with the skirts, you can go with your trousers. So that is, and professional shoes. When you talk about professional school shoes, then the bellies or the shoes which you are wearing should be closed from the toes. That's important. When you're talking about jewelry, very minimal jewelry or no jewelry with the Western outfit. Wristwatch always looks professional. A neat professional hairstyle, and very light makeup if you are wearing makeup or makeover. Looking towards the Western wear, we will first talk about the kurta, and then we will go to the Indian sari style. With the particular Indian wear, you can go with the kurta. Again, depending upon whether it is in cotton or khadi or might be linen. Depending upon the season, you can vary the material of the kurta. Long sleeves is always preferred. You can also go with the half sleeves. It's absolutely fine. Uh, Cotton kurta, again, here also no jewelry or very minimum jewelry. Here also the watch, wrist watch is always looks professional. Knee length kurta, no short kurtas. Leggings, trouser, pencil, we called as a pencil leggings. Professional shoes. While talking about the shoes, two things to be kept in more in mind. One, toe should be closed, right? That's important. Heels, if you are carrying heels, yes, it should not make noise. That's the important thing when you're looking towards professional shoes and your money. Then coming towards the jewelry, very minimal jewelry at the professional place. No flashy jewelry should be, so minimal jewelry with very light makeup and neat professional hairstyle. Again, it depends upon your the hairstyle, whether you want to be have a pony or you have to keep your hair open, but that should be well groomed and maintained. When you're talking about dress for success, and let's go towards men also. So when you're talking about the men, long sleeves pressed shirt. So shirt, you can go with the might be checks, very, or might be line shirts, navy blue, charcoal, black. Suits, that is, I'm talking about blazer, always suits. Remember, very important, matching dress socks. When you're wearing a socks, it should match the color. Match, I'm not telling exactly, but it should suit the suit which you're wearing. Dark shoes that match the suits if you're wearing a brown suit, but if you're wearing, so especially the shoes colors are brown or might be navy blue or might be black in color, depending upon the suit which you're wearing. Neatly groomed hair, simple tie, no flashy, no glazy ties are welcomed in this profession. So this is what, when we are talking about men's, when coming to the dressing style, when you're presenting yourself, might be during your session, guest sessions, lectures, interacting with your, or coordinating with your students, your colleagues, or with meetings. Few things to be avoided: low neck cuts. So low cut necklines, that should be avoided in case of women's. No mini skirts, loud prints and patterns, not at all welcomed. Dramatic makeup, no. We had already discussed about very light makeup and makeover always look professional. Excessive and jewelry, flashy jewelry should not be entertained, and too much of perfume. So fragrance, when we talk about fragrance, yes, fragrance should be very light. It should not be too much and too strong when you are putting your deodorants or you are putting your perfumes, in case when you are at the professional uh, place. Avoid caps, avoid hats, white socks, because white socks always are being used during sports events. So it's always recommendable that white socks should be avoided. Bright novelty ties, no, again, ties should be simple. Very one, it should be plain. It should have might be across lines, might be checks, or very light print on it. No flashy, no dramatic ties, and novelty ties are welcome. Too much of, well, especially in case of fragrance with men's also, remember it should be very light in that case. So this is what, when we are talking for dress for success for men and women. Um, I'm going to talk about one important part related to the women's, and that is the wearing style of the sari in our next slides. Before that, let's talk about informal meetings for both. When we are going for informal meetings, there are many events which happens in our um, particular colleges. There are many events, like there are sports events, there are cultural events where we cannot be so formal during the sports events when we are dealing with the students at the football court, at the basketball court, in the sports. At that time, the jeans and t-shirts, no doubt, it's okay when you're wearing jeans and t-shirt when you are at the sports and sports events. Um, Jeans and t-shirts both, it's fine. Low neck t-shirts should be avoided. Add suitable earrings in case of females, it's absolutely fine. But very studding and suitable earrings, very no flashy, no big hanging earrings. Scarf around the neck, absolutely fine when you're going with the scarf around the neck in case of the Western outfit. Heels for the feet, formal events. Yes, when you're wearing shoes, yes, heels for the feet, formal events. If you're going for cultural event, floor length gowns, not necessary is required, but very decent gowns you can wear. But remember, if you are in the cultural event with students, no short dresses, length of the gown above um, the knee are not acceptable. Wear colors that suits your skin tone, very important. Don't copy others. Don't copy others, whether they are celebrities or your colleagues. Think about your skin tone. What is your skin tone and what suits you? What jewelry suits you, to your dress, to your profession? Do not overdo it. In any case, whether it's an informal meeting or formal meeting, do not overdo. Even in informal meetings or in informal events, do not load yourself with a lot of jewelry, a lot of makeup. Make it more simple. And that's always acceptable as you are in the profession of a teacher. Tips to be followed: don't be too simple, too flashy. Both ways. Don't be too simple, but don't be too flashy too. No matter what the occasion you are, always dress. That's what I want to hear. Underline one thing: be comfortable. Be comfortable. Don't be uncomfortable in your dressing style. It's okay. You're not comfortable with Western outfit, Western formals. Fine. Kurta and leggings or the Punjabi suit you can wear. You can go with your sari. Absolutely fine. Right? Or you are not comfortable with blazer. You are comfortable with a good, clean, neat, dressed formals. That is a shirt, light color shirt, trouser with a decent belt. It's absolutely fine. But remember this: always dress so you feel comfortable with it. No one can have fun in too short dress or too tight one. You want to fit in a tight dress, or you want to copy somebody else with a short dress or the formal dress which are Western, which you are not comfortable with, which you have never worn, don't go with it. First, think about your comfort level. Are you comfortable Because when you're presenting yourself in front of students, you're delivering a lecture, you should be comfortable. It should not happen while delivering session. You are so uncomfortable that you have to more concentrate on your dress rather than to the sessions which you are or the interactions which you are having with your students. So the third point, if you can see, it's very important. Dress for comfort first and then occasion next. When you're giving an importance, give an importance to comfort and then occasion. Of course, occasion should be taken care of when you're selecting your dress code. But then whether you are comfortable with it and the formals, yes, you should go with formals, but with your comfort zone. A plain dress can always be dressed up with accessories, but a two body dress can never be dressed down. If you're having a plain dress, minimal accessories, yes, you can go with it. No doubt. Gaudy dresses, I will never suggest that at your profession and especially in universities and colleges in higher education. Personal hygiene. We talk about dress, we talk about appearance. When we talk about appearance, we are talking about good grooming. Here, good grooming is also physical and emotional well-being. Your lifestyle, your body odor. A person coming with you, interacting with you, students coming to you, talking to you, how your body odor is, whether it's distracting others, yes or no. Your breath, what we can say, the breath is important. So whether your oral hygiene is being maintained, perspiration, body odor, fragrance of the skincare or the lotion which you had applied, your hairstyle, your nails, all that's important because students interact you not only in the classrooms but outside the classroom also. So your breath, your oral hygiene, your perspiration, body odor, your fragrance, skincare, if you are using any perfume, hairstyle, nails, this also is important when you're talking about the personal hygiene. So for the personality development, it's your hygiene, it's your wardrobe, it's your dress code, all the things are important. Let's talk about communication. Work on your body language. Communication doesn't mean only talking. I'm very good in teaching, but my body language, my behavior, my physical behavior, right? How important it is. Whether I can communicate in a proper sense, whether I can communicate with but not only with words, but my behavior with the students. So such behavior that when we are talking about the body language, your facial expression, your body posture, your gesture, your eye movement, your touch, use of space, how the space difference you are keeping between, when while you are interacting, all are important. Body language is important as your verbal communication, as it's non-verbal communication. Well, how much important is when you're delivering a lecture, you use good presentation, you have a good language, you have good skills, you have good knowledge, and you start delivering your lecture. With that, your non-verbal communication, your facial expression, your how you're sitting, how you're standing, your gestures, your eye movements, your touch, all that things count. So body language is one important parameter to connect with students. Remember this thing. A very important parameter while connecting with students. Posture. Focus on your posture. You are probably seen first with your posture. Okay, when you're entering a classroom, you might have stepped in the classroom with your books, with your laptops, with your notes. What immediately at the door only do you don't start talking and delivering your session. You talk, you stand, might be on the podium or on the platform which is there in the front of all the students. So the first and most important thing, the posture of you while sitting, while standing, how confident it is. Whether your body is straight, your shoulders and back are straight, you're standing straight, you're sitting erect. Do it in front of mirror. Check how difference it makes. When you are alert, you're keeping your body straight, shoulder back straight. You're sitting and having a confident conversation. See the impact it creates to the students. And when you're not confident, your facial expression is delivering no confidence. Your posture is stooped out, you're hanging, and then it creates lot of issues in the form of you're not presentable. Here, students start taking over you. So make your posture, your confidence more towards appealing in the sense. Control your hand gestures. Hands. Okay, I'm talking to you. My movements of hand. When you're moving your hand, your jewelry is reflected. Whether it's a watch, it's a bangle. So minimal jewelry. Make it clear. So when you're having your hand gestures, your movements are important. So it's very important because you might be looking towards whole class. But remember one thing, your students are looking towards you. 100 students sitting in the classroom are looking towards you when you're talking and you're delivering the session. Don't touch your jewelry. Don't twist your hair. Don't rub your beard. This is everything is noticed. These are the small moments which may communicate your nervousness, your boredom. So make sure you're not doing all these things. You're very alert. Your movements are minimal. Your jewelry is not fashion. See, even I am wearing a minimal jewelry. Might be a watch, wristwatch, which is professional. Might be one bangle. Might be one ring, which is not too flashy, which is not too glazy that the students. And while moving, these all things are being visible. Suppose in this, I might have a ample bunch of bangles, and they are making noise while I am making hand gestures. I have a flashy earrings. I have a very flashy daisy, might be watch. I can use that during my personal parties or my personal any festival. It's absolutely fine. But here you are interacting with hundreds of students at a time. Okay. One more thing. Avoid placing hands on your hips. I don't know whether you can see or not, but when you're keeping hand on your hips, it gives the message that you are feeling very superior, and it's not good way to handle. Relax your hands on your side. Make yourself easy. Make your facial expression confident. No pointing. Don't point. It's very badly treated when you are pointing to someone. So no pointing at all. Make sure you're comfortable, you're relaxed in front of your students. Don't cross or fold your hands. If you're folding your hands, putting in the pocket, perhaps people feel more comfortable doing this when they don't know what to do with their arms. However, when you do this, people may view you're unapproachable, uninterested, or bored. Suppose you are on the other side of the students and students are giving presentation. And when they are giving presentation, you are just relaxing on the couch. You are putting hands on your beard. You are twisting your hairs. Might be you're putting your arms folded. That means you're not. That is a symbol, a non-verbal communication that you're uninterested, unapproachable, and bored. Make sure, try to keep your hands naturally by your sides and avoid holding them in front of your body, right? So otherwise, it's the best way. If you are holding, you can hold in this way or keep on the side. Keep your head straight. Let it be little tilted with the body movement. What happens? It's absolutely fine. You may make a nod like no. If somebody is giving you answer, you can say no. Yes, it's absolutely fine. A small movement, fine. So there is obviously a time and place where you can tilt your head. It's absolutely fine. But make sure the head is, you're keeping it straight while you're standing or you're sitting in front of your students. Very important. Smile. I had taken a pause here because smiling is a signal to show person you are happy and you are giving a positivity and positive vibes. Use it moderate way. I'm not telling you smile, smile, and smile always. Give a gesture to your students too. It shows the attitude of you. And remember, smiling is very contagious. Suppose you're entering a faculty hub, you're entering a faculty room, your staff room. You came with a smile, just observe. Tomorrow morning, go with a smile on your face when you're entering your faculty hub. And if 10 teachers are sitting there, you will observe that everybody will smile to you. Once you had smiled, that's the right message. Not only for students, when you are interacting with your colleagues, when you are working with your colleagues, smile is the gesture which creates positivity. It sends a right message. I'm not asking to have a loud laugh. With a small smile, a moderate smile, a movement where you feel to accept what the person is saying, their attitudes, and welcoming their smile or a good morning. B, behavior. Etiquette. Now there is a story behind it. It's very interesting. It is said that etiquette is originated from the French word unique, which means ticket or placard given to the visitor. Suppose a visitor wants to go to the court of King Louis XIV. He has to go with some rules before going to the particular King Louis. There should be some having some rules to be followed. Rules of behavior for every situation in the court. How he should stand, how he should sit, how he should greet king, how he should go out of the court. So there was a ticket or a placard which was given. Okay, you are going to visit court tomorrow. You have to follow these rules, your dress code, your posture, your standing style, your talking behavior, like your behavior while you are in the court. So the manner how he or she should greet to one another. And that is called as etiquette. So etiquette came from that. That is a protocol, how you behave, how you present when you're in the professional group. So there are business etiquettes, there are social etiquettes when you're interacting with business environment. One more thing which is important, I just want to tell. If you had seen a small scene is there, I don't know how many of you have seen the movie that is on the cricket, which the World Cup we have on Kapil Dev and the team, the whole team, where we had won the World Cup 80, I think so in 80s. In that movie, if you had remembered, the whole team, Indian team, was supposed to meet Queen Elizabeth before going for the final match, because when they are selected for the finals. So there was a protocol how to meet and greet the Queen. So that protocol is called as etiquette. That's the behavior in the society. When you are socially interacting with others, when you are at the business forum, when you are in the meeting, when you're in the conference, when you're in the podium. So that is called as the business ethics and so ethics. And that's important for teachers also, because we teachers are interacting with parents, we are having interacting and behaving with our students during the different events, during their induction, their orientation, their interviews, their placements, their sports event, their competitions. Okay, beyond that, let's talk about our careers. when we are presenting our research paper, when we are in the conference, when we are in the meeting, when we are as a panelist, when we are meeting at the social gathering, when we are at the HR meet. So how it should be. So remember that behavior is called as etiquette. So that is originated from the French word, and the story behind it is really very interesting, which I had talked about. Learn to take feedback. It's very important for all the teachers, right? So don't be a person which is difficult to give an feedback. Try to get specific feedback from your student and colleague, because that will improve you about your behavior, about your communication, and about your appearance. You can take from your colleagues about your appearance, your behavior from both students and about your teaching. Right? Ask questions. So feedback is more clear. Summarize feedback. Don't be annoyed if there is any negative remark on it. Make that remark into positive impact next time, and that will help you all. So we had talked about appearance. A, we had talked about behavior, etiquettes. B, we had talked about communication, verbal and non-verbal. C, one thing which we had missed here, that is dressing sense, and that's most important, that's Indian wear. We had talked about Indian wear in the form of kurtas and Punjabi dresses, but we had not talked about a very beautiful attire which we have, and that is sari. For women's is the best attire presentable at any forum. Informal, formal, national, international, meetings, conferences, classroom events. The style of sari may differ. The pattern of sari may differ. Absolutely fine. You may be having a lot of saris in your wardrobe. Select a right sari for yourself. Professional. Linen, cotton, khadi, cotton silk, light silk. No broad prints during the classroom teaching. Make sure your blouse is not low neck. Many times when there is a collared blouse, it's really look decent in front of students. No deep necks or backless. Well draped sari. Small heels or good footwears. Minimal jewelry in case of saris also. When you are professionally presenting yourself, you will look elegant, graceful, with dignity. So that's important what I want to talk about when you're looking for saris. Okay, we have a lot of things to discuss more, but before that, teachers should be, when we are talking about personality, strong communicator. We talk a lot because we are meant for talking. We are delivering lectures, that habit to talk. But be such strong communicator that you can control your class with your presence, not with your shout. A good communicator when you can communicate with 100 of students at a time and make sure that all are attending to you. Second, not only your communication, but you should be good listener also. There are a lot of problems of the students. Yes, you should be good listener. Listening to others is a very important skill nowadays. Very few people have, but I think so teachers should have a good ears to listen to their students. Collaborations. Today is a generation, even the NEP have listed a lot of international collaboration, academic and industry collaborations, collaborations in research, collaboration with student and faculty research work. Adopt it. Go with it. Have an international collaboration with the universities and industries. Have an academic and industry collaboration. Be a part of it. Adopt with Generation Z. Adopt the new skills. 20 years back, we were not much accustomed. Let it be 20 years back, 10 years back, whether if there was a Zoom, Google Meet, online platforms. If in my career of 20 years, I have seen from the transparencies what we used to have with projectors to computers to pen drives to chips, and now on a single tip with the smart gadgets, we have everything and smart boards in the classroom. Adopt. You have to adopt with the changing technology and sustain with it. Engagement with students. Engagement with students not only in studies is important. Engage them in sports, in competitions, in research. Again, research is an important when we are talking about NEP, National Education Policy, and student research is also being given importance in that. Have patience. Patience is important with students. You have one or two kids at your place. You know how much patience level you need when you are interacting with hundreds of students in your classroom. Real world learning. Value real world learning and make sure you have such cases that you're connecting students with real world learning. Share best practices in your college, in your classroom. And you yourself also be a lifelong learner with technology, with the need what is being required in future. Online sessions. When you're talking about online sessions, treat an online session as a real coursework. Make your camera on, the background clear, make your dressing sense also as you want to appear yourself in front of your students or fellow colleagues. Very important. Practice time management beyond time on online classrooms. Hold yourself accountable. Create a regular study space and stay organized. Deliver it properly. You can have slides, you can have pictures, you can have videos. Make creativity. Make sure your participants are actively participating. Network. When you're talking about internet and network should be very strong when you are dealing with online sessions. Very important. Now, when you with this diagram, I just want to tell you personality development physically, spiritually, socially, mentally, and emotionally. International presence. Just we had talked about international collaborations. How your international presence should be there. Very interesting story. I'm going to tell you about it. I had been to more than 15 countries, not 15 times, more than 40 to 50 times. Because few countries I had repeatedly been. So I had been here for a student exchange program, teachers exchange program, seminars, lecture series, online, offline, both I'm talking about. For the meetings, for the conferences, as a speaker, as a paper presenter, as for MOU, signing and all that. So make sure that you are making you you are making a best presentable at your international forum. Let's get I visited one thing you have to remember which country you are visiting. Make sure you should know little bit about that country. Suppose you are visiting Thailand, you are visiting Malaysia, you are visiting Singapore, you are visiting US, you are visiting Europe, any of the European country. Make sure you have a little knowledge about the geographical area, the audience with which you are going to interact, the university which you are going to be there, right? Even a small language tips helps you a lot. When I had been to Thailand, I started my session and conversation in the conference with Namaste from India and Swadika from Thailand. And very good morning to all of you across the world. So that was one which has, I had taken the attention of the whole audience. As a word, Swadika, which is a greeting like Namaste, was so fascinating with them that And one more thing was knowing like kapunka, thank you, excuse me. So these small words, if you will learn and you will utter in front of them while interacting, I'm not telling the whole session you will be in English, no doubt, because you're at the global platform and English is the official language you're using there. Greeting, thank you. There's few words when you use, it gives and it links you to the audience. You should also know few, which are the best cuisines, your geographical area, what don'ts and do and don'ts of that particular region. Like in case pointing to someone is being seen in few countries is very bad manners. It's very general in India when you're pointing to someone. So many people do honking, no horns. We say no horns, but a lot of honks across India. Honking is a very bad gesture in few countries. Make sure you do few things while stepping in. Everything, all information you can Google before you are stepping into that country, right? That will make your internet. I'm not asking to miss your country. Represent yourself as Indian. Make sure you're making namaste, which has more.
Excuse me, ma'am. Dear participants, a resource person will join us soon. Dear participants, a resource person will join us soon. She has some network disturbances. She'll join us soon. Kirti, ma'am?
Yeah, I was dropped from the. Might be there's some technical problem. I'm back.
No issues, ma'am.
Yeah. So I think so. We were at the international forum, and I was talking about international presence, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you are at the international forum, I talked about your presence when you want to connect to people. It's very important. Talking few words in their language, which is very easy to understand and learn from internet. And good morning, good evening, namaste, thank you, excuse me, very beautiful. These things, if you learn, few etiquettes, if you can come to know that how to be there when you are sitting with them at the dinner, in the meeting, what are the greet and meet system which they have, they will really appreciate. And this is my personal viewpoint and my personal experience when I have visited Japan. Beautiful culture. When I visited Thailand, the hospitality is amazing. When I visited the US, the culture is totally different what we Indians are having, right? When I had visited Malaysia, the religion is different. Indonesia, Nepal, where in Nepal the culture is very much similar to India. So there are uniqueness and differences. Let's talk about uniqueness and differences, learn about that, and that's what will make. There are so many projects you can do. At there, I had done a lot of projects with students, with faculties, with industries. Recently, I had been to Nepal, and might be in the June. I'm going to two more countries for my, and really it will be a good experience. So we were talking about how your presence is to be in such countries when you're visiting. I think so. I am at the last part of, but still I will share my slide again. So I think so I was able to deliver what exactly it is meant for. But the last part which we were dealing with, that, yeah, it's again very important how to shake your hand, how much closeness your internal, like in Japan you have internal circle, outer circle. So there are people who are at the inner circle, the people who are at the outer circle. So how much space, how the handshake should be, that also is very important when I went to Japan. So if you know all these things and you go, it becomes very easy to understand them, very easy that they accept you, very easy you can connect with them very easily, and then you as a speaker, they become very good listeners to you, and that's important to learn when you are having your international presence. That's it from my side, and I tried to cover different things in this 55 minutes, and I'm open for question answer session. I'm just running through few things that we had talked about: teacher's personality, the contents, I as a brand, I as a teacher, as a brand, my visual image, my etiquettes, my communication skills, my non-verbal communication, my online presence, my international presence, behavior and communication, all my grooming, my dressing style, my success, my informal meetings during the session. All these things are very important when you are dealing with personality development. Any questions? I am here to answer you.